Hi everyone and welcome to my channel Sewscape. My name is Carly and today we are going to be tackling my work in progress bin. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that this has gotten so full, so out of hand. I look in here at all these cute clothes that I just want to wear, but they just need a little bit of tweaking. I am planning on going through this box of goodies and sewing up everything that I've been putting off and adding a few more things into my wardrobe for fall. The first thing on my to-do list is this lovely wrap dress made from an IKEA bed sheet. I love this dress, it is so fantastic, but on the inside there are snaps that connect the kind of wrap feature together. And if you can see, my hand sewing was not that great. So we've got one dangling here, and then up here, the other side just like came off. And so we're gonna reattach all the snaps and then this one will be done. Let's get to it. So my favorite thing to do while I'm hand sewing is listen to an audiobook. So right now I'm listening to Eleanor and Park on the Libby app. So it hooks up to your library and you can just like rent audiobooks for free. It's amazing. I find I'm going through one every week with the amount of sewing that I do, or even gardening, or just doing the dishes. I love to just kind of have something going. Sometimes music gets a little annoying and repetitive if it's running for a long time. So I'm gonna put in my headphones and start stitching. Alright, so I finished up all those snaps and reinforced the rest of them. I'm not great at hand stitching, so they're not beautiful, but at least they'll hold. And then I had whip stitched this whole seam here. You can kind of see it's not great, but some of it was coming undone, so I just mended that. And I did a ladder stitch this time instead of a whip stitch. I don't know if that's better or worse or anything, but it's a little prettier. So I repaired that. So we're on to our next project. So the next project is this wrap dress. I have had so many things go wrong with this wrap dress. I accidentally cut a hole in it when I was ripping out sleeves. So it used to have big puffy sleeves on it, but it was just too much for the look. So I ripped them off and then finished it with bias binding. But when I ripped the sleeves off, I cut holes in it. So I went to go reinforce it and mend it, and I interfaced the wrong side. Anyways, I ended up doing a little embroidery where I had kind of ripped the hole, and then I just matched it on the other side. Some little, I think, ranunculus flowers. So that was a fun little make. But I graded up one of my old patterns because in McCall's patterns, I'm now in the bigger size packet. But when I had bought the packet, I had bought the smaller size. So I kind of graded up according to the measurements and just kind of added the seam allowance. I did this a long time ago. This dress has been fitting kind of funny for a while. Anyways, the way the darts sit, they make my boobs look super pointy. It looks really ridiculous. So they just come up too high. So I'm hoping to unpick these and then fix them a little bit. But I'm looking at it now and it looks like I serged the edge. Oh my goodness. Ooh, we'll see how this goes. Let's do some unpicking, and I'm just gonna lower it. I'll try it on and we'll see how much we have to lower these darts. All right, so this is kind of how it fits. So they look a little funny. I still wear it, but I'm thinking I'm gonna lower it so it goes to right about there. I'm gonna take about 1.5 inches off of each dart. Hopefully this works out. This is the dress from So I've just unpicked the darts. And so because I serged it, I'm never gonna serge a dart ever again. there's only a certain amount of space, so I wanted to lower it by 1.5 inches. This is pretty close, probably not quite. So I've just chalked in a new line here of a diagonal, so I'm gonna start on my old stitching line and just end the dart sooner, and we'll see if that fixes the pointy boob. So now I'm gonna give that a fresh press, and it looks like I pressed these seams to the wrong side when I originally made it. This is one of my first sewing makes, or you know, one that I kind of rushed through before I totally knew what I was doing. But I'll give this a press and I'll try it on. We'll see how that's looking. So the lighting is a little crazy in my mirror here. They are still quite pointy. I think it's a little bit better. It's the best that I can do with this with what I have. What do you think? Is it too crazy? Does anyone have any ways that I can fix this? It's cut right, like, because I serged the edges. There's no more seam allowance to get around, but we will see. Maybe I just need to take more into the dart for it not to point. Maybe it's just how it's gonna be. But for now, I still wear it. It's cute. We'll move on to the next project. So the next item in my bin was to fix a button on a pair of one of my son's pants. But it's been in my work in progress bin for so long that the pants no longer fit him. So they're going in the donation bin. You know what? I should still fix the button before I send them to the donation bin because those are cute pants. I'm gonna do that. So these are these cute little jeans from Joe Fresh. So it had a faux button. So it had a little snap that closed it, but the snap busted off this side. And I'm just gonna pop this off, pop in a new button, and then rip this buttonhole open as a functional button. I'm gonna use these wire cutters to try to get this off, and we will see if that works. If anyone is watching this and is cringing because I'm not using the right tool, please leave me a comment and let me know what tool I need to buy to break snaps off of pants. I need to get spring-loaded ones. Haha! Boom, baby! We got it. And there is gonna be a perfect size little hole there to put my button through. We'll get rid of this. These are all the different buttons that I have in my collection right now. So I think I'm gonna use this silver one, even though it doesn't totally go. It has gold top stitching on the pants. I only have one of these silver buttons, and I like to save all the other buttons for, like, say I do a jean jacket or something and I need multiple matching buttons. So I'm gonna do this silver button. So there's my shiny silver button in there, and it's nice and snug. That's looking great. So because this has been a faux buttonhole and never been opened, I'm gonna use some fray check along this seam, let that dry 10 minutes, and then I'm going to seam rip it open. So we'll let that dry and then we'll come back to rip it open. In the meantime, we'll look at our next project, which is this M7969, the McCall's pattern that went like totally viral. And it has those big billowy sleeves. I love this color on myself, oh my goodness. And a gathered bottom. So I have this ripped off because when I first made it, I had never gathered anything before. This has been sitting in my mend pile for a long time. So the gathering wasn't very neat, it wasn't very even. So I'm just gonna break those gathering stitches, and then I'm gonna run new gathering stitches in here and set them up properly. I only used one thread of gathering stitch. It just was not very nice, not very even. So I'm gonna do that now while the fray check is drying. So I have gathered up that edge nicely. Now I can live with it, and pinned it to the bodice. So I'm gonna go through and sew this down and then serge the edge. So that's looking way cuter along that gathered edge there. So I'm gonna go through and serge this, and then that's another project done. So now the fray check is dry, and we are gonna rip through these pants. So once I rip a little bit through there, I never wanna go too far, so then I switch over to my scissors. And then I just cut the rest of the way through. Just like that. Beautiful. And then we'll make sure this button goes through. Beautiful. I'm gonna maybe open it up even just a little bit more, just because these are a size 5. And for the next mom who gets these, maybe her little boy can do up his button himself. So this next project that I'm working on is on one of my son's shoes. The shoes that he was wearing in the spring, the Velcro had come off of them, and we were just gonna toss them. And then I realized that I sew, so I can repair these things and keep another pair of shoes out of the landfill until they get holes in the bottom, because little boys are so tough on shoes. And yes, his dirty shoe is on my sewing machine, but that is what a mother's love is. And then I'm just gonna cut off the excess fuzz around the outsides, just from the Velcro being worn. And there you go, you have a shoe that is fixed and a happy little guy who'll soon know how to tie his shoes, but until then, he'll have some shoes where the Velcro works great. And so I'll just show you, this is what the Velcro tab looks like here. So there is a visible line of top stitching here, but I'm sure he will not be too worried about that. So that is done. And the next project is for him also. I made this cute little elephant stuffy just out of a scrappy project. I had made a jacket out of this fleece, and with the extras I made him just a stuffed animal elephant. It was my first time ever making like a stuffed animal, so it's not great. It's a little creepy, but the head popped off. So let's sew the head back on this for him. And that little cutie is complete. And the last project is this brown corduroy skirt that I sewed in the fall. It's covered in threads and stuff from being in this sewing cave of mine. And so when I sewed it, it was just a little bit tight along the waistband. So I let out some of the seams and the darts, and I'm just gonna sew on a new waistband. So luckily enough, I had fabric left over. So I have a long piece cut out here and some scrappy interfacing, and let's interface this waistband. So I interfaced that little strip of waistband. I've folded in 5/8 of an inch. I'm gonna sew it on and then flip it in and then top stitch the rest, or stitch in the ditch. But it's corduroy, you can't really see much in it. So I have the waistband all sewed on now. So I thrifted this beautiful package of Drit adjustable hook and eye closures. I'll show you what they look like. So let's see here. So it's like this, and then, you know, you can adjust. Oh, it goes the other way. Adjust depending on how tight or how loose you want it to be. I've never seen anything like these before, so I don't know how old they are. It's amazing. They say rust resistant. I've thrifted a few older hook and eye packages that have gotten a little bit rusty if they do get wet. So here's hoping that they will be good. I'm trying to find a date on here. I bought them for 25 cents. Usually these packets have a price tag on them, but it doesn't show the original price. Anyways, we'll sew this onto the skirt now. And now I have that hook and eye sewed on, and my last project is done. I just have to iron everything and kind of get all the little threads off, and then in the morning I'll do a fashion show of all my clothes that I get to wear now that they are fixed. When I went to go try on the purple dress that I was adjusting the darts on, I decided it's just too crazy. I'm not gonna wear it anymore. There's lots of mistakes in the dress, but it was a wonderful learning experience, and I don't know whether to donate it or just trash it. I don't know if anyone else's boobs might not look as pointy in it, but mine sure do. So that is no longer going to be in my possession, and I still got lots of good sewing makes out of this work in progress bin. And there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. I hope you guys have the most wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.